Whether you're using YouTube for marketing or for monetization, it's important to understand what some of the most effective content strategies are for you to be as successful as possible on YouTube. So, when we talk about content for marketing, it's important to make sure that you know your audience and that you're producing content that's relevant to that audience. We also want to make sure that we're engaging the audience and providing value to them. We're going to talk about providing value when we talk about monetization as well, but it's also important in marketing. If you provide value to a user, that user is going to be more likely to share your video, more likely to tell their family and friends about the product or service, and it's just going to enhance your marketing efforts. You also want to make sure that you include clear branding. Make sure that the user knows what the product or service is that you're marketing, who the company is that owns it, and where they can go to find out more. That's where the call to action comes into play. It's really important, especially in marketing, to have a call to action in your videos. Again, if you're promoting a product or service, where can that user go to purchase the product or service? Is there a website that they can go to? Where can they go find out more? Can they go to your Facebook page, one of your social platforms? If you're marketing, you're trying to sell something. So make sure that if the user wants to buy it, they know where they can go to purchase it. When we talk about content for monetization, we want to provide lots and lots of value. We want to solve a problem for that user. In a couple of minutes, I'm going to talk about some different problems that we can solve for people and some of the most effective types of content for YouTube. But for monetization, we also want to provide a reason for the users to come back to our channel. Are we going to have a follow-up video? Are we going to have a new video that solves a problem that nobody has ever solved yet? Give them a reason to come back to watch more of your videos so that you can earn more revenue. We also want to make sure that for monetization especially, that all of the content we're producing is 100% ours. If we have music or graphics in our content that's created or owned by somebody else, that content might not be available to monetize on YouTube. So make sure that all of the content you're producing on YouTube is 100% yours if you're using it for monetization. We also want to have a call to action in our monetization content as well. Obviously, we might not be selling a specific product or service, but we want those users to come back and watch more of our videos because we make more money in this manner. So provide a call to action for the users to subscribe. Say, hey, if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate subscribing to my YouTube channel. Or if you enjoyed this video, I have similar videos coming up in the future that are even better, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss those videos. When we're producing content for YouTube, it's important to balance the length of your videos and the efficiency of your videos. There are some strengths and weaknesses to longer and shorter videos on YouTube, so let's go ahead and talk about some of those strengths and weaknesses. Longer videos tend to earn more revenue on YouTube. So if you're using YouTube for monetization, if you can produce a longer video, sometimes YouTube can squeeze 2 advertisements into that video and you can earn more revenue. Longer videos also provide more engagement. The user is going to watch more of your content, they're going to hear your voice or see your brand more, so hopefully it's going to be a little more memorable. Now, the negative aspect to longer videos is that you risk irritating your users. People on YouTube nowadays want to find answers to their questions as quick as possible. And if you can provide that answer in 30 seconds, but you take 12 minutes, that user is probably not going to come back to watch more of your videos because they may feel that they're wasting their time. So longer videos can be good, they can make more money and they can increase your engagement, but if that longer video isn't justified by the amount of content that's inside of it, then you definitely want to make sure that you're producing a shorter video, which increases the user's perception of your brand and your YouTube channel in general, and hopefully they'll come back and watch more videos. Now, let's talk about shorter videos. Shorter videos on YouTube have higher efficiency. If you can solve someone's problem in 30 seconds, that user is going to say, wow, I've been searching the internet for 15 minutes and this creator solved it in 30 seconds. That's great. I'm going to subscribe, I'm going to like this video, and I'm going to share it. You may earn a little less revenue because it's a shorter video and YouTube can't show as many advertisements, but at the same time, you're probably going to run less of a risk of irritating the viewer. If they know that when they watch your videos, there's no messing around, they watch it for 30 seconds, a minute, and boom, their problem is solved, they're going to love that and they're going to be more likely to subscribe. Now, what type of content is valuable on YouTube? There are a number of different forms of content that can be successful, but I'm just going to give you a few ideas to get those juices flowing so that you can figure out what's going to be best for your YouTube channel. Content that informs or educates is always considered valuable. So, talking about a topic that you know your viewers are interested in is always a good idea. This is where knowing your target market and your audience is extremely important. If you can educate your viewers on a topic that interests them, they're going to consider that content valuable. Content that solves a problem is also very valuable. So somebody has a question, a very specific question. How do I do an oil change in my car? That's pretty general, but it's a specific question. If you provide a video that solves that problem, users are going to love it. That's what my core focus has been on YouTube. I solve technology problems. Now, your channel is going to be very different, but solving any type of problem is always considered valuable and is definitely a great content strategy. Content that provides humor or comfort is also considered valuable. If you take a look at a lot of the YouTubers that make a full-time living off of YouTube, a big majority of them are YouTubers that provide humor, and they have funny videos, millions of subscribers, and they make a lot of money. So humor can definitely be considered valuable on YouTube. Content that surprises can also be considered valuable. Maybe you're doing a video that's informing or educating on a particular topic, and you come across a fact that you haven't heard anybody talk about yet. So, in the middle of your video, you surprise your users by saying, "Hey, by the way, did you know this?" If your surprise is powerful and valuable enough, hopefully that user will share your content with their friends and family. Content that's emotional, that appeals to people's emotions, is always a good idea, whether you're marketing or trying to make money on YouTube. When people's emotions come into play, they're going to be more likely to remember that video and become attached to that video because now their emotions are involved. When you're thinking about your content strategy on YouTube, you always want to make sure that you're creating content that's in line with your core strengths. So, what do you do best off of the computer? What are you most knowledgeable in? If you produce content that's related to your strengths and your knowledge, that content is going to naturally be more valuable because it's what you do best. So, make sure that you're focusing on your strengths, your competencies, and what you're most knowledgeable in. If you produce content based on that, it will be very valuable to viewers on YouTube. So, when you're thinking about your content on YouTube, make sure that you know your users, your target market, and that you're providing valuable content based on that target market. You also want to make sure that you're including a call to action, whether it's content for marketing or content for monetization. You want to make sure that you're balancing your video length with the amount of time it takes to get to the point in your videos. And always make sure that you're taking advantage of your core competencies so that you can be as successful as possible on YouTube.